Hi, this is Lucy Appert, and I'm here talking about the pilot of the Sakai Open Academic Network at New York University. And it's being piloted here as the Atlas Network. And I have with me...
This is Nick Likos. I'm the Director of Technology and Operations for the Gallatin School of Individualized Study at New York University.
And Nick and the Gallatin School were working on academic networking to meet some key needs for their graduate students. So they have been focusing on those capacities in the open academic environment around academic networking. So Nick, can you talk a little bit about your graduate students and their particular needs?
Sure. So I'll talk first about Gallatin student needs in general, both graduate and undergraduate. Because Gallatin is the School of Individualized Study, all of our students essentially create their own course of study. What this means is they're not always taking courses in Gallatin. They're often taking courses in all the other schools throughout the university. So there is some difficulty with getting just in general community types of connections. For our graduate students in particular, they're just not on campus as often as undergraduates, so they don't have those in-person settings as often. So they really felt there was a need for a way to build not only community but an academic community, and this is where we turn to Atlas.
So if we just can step back a moment and talk about academic networking versus social networking. Social networking tends to be a pretty thin layer, and when you think about academic networking, it's really a social networking layer over a very rich content-focused environment. And I know content has figured really prominently in the work that you've been doing with the Gallatin student groups, and you all have especially been focusing on profile and networking groups. So do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So why don't I go into Atlas? Here's the homepage, and I'm going to go into my profile. So this is really important. What we asked our graduate students to do is to create their profile, upload a photo, but make sure they put some rich academic information in. So as you can see here, under my basic information, along with my name, my role in school, there's a field for academic interests and tags. So these are really important because these are the ways that the students are going to find each other, because as you'll see, they will get surfaced in other parts of the Atlas network.
So right now, NYU has a very basic, out-of-the-box, open academic profile. I'll just mention that these other parts of the profile are customizable by institution. You can add different modules here, and these modules can also have different permissions set on them, so only your contacts can see them. If you want a public profile, you can make it public, or if you're working on something, only me. So there are other pieces of the profile. We're just focusing on this one particular piece for this part of the pilot.
So let's take a look at our graduate student group. So I'm going to go to my memberships and choose the Gallatin graduate students. And here we have our homepage for the group. Notice that this has a different skin. It has our Gallatin logo and our Gallatin red. This can be applied for any schools within the university, for universities, and for even subgroups within that. Here we have different pages that make up our group. These can be edited and modified in many ways. We can create new pages, change permissions. But the main thing I wanted to show you here is our participants page, because this is where we surface a lot of that academic information for networking purposes. So I'm going to actually go to a test group we have of participants, so we're not showing our student data, but this will give you the idea of what we're doing with our student group. So when I clicked on participants, you'll see that we have a list of all the participants in this group, and there's some really good information that's surfaced right away. So along with a photo and a name, we have our academic interests surfaced and our tags surfaced. It shows the number of content items we have. It shows how many contacts we have, how many other groups we have memberships in. But the real important thing about this, a Gallatin graduate student that might be studying in our Steinhardt school, who may be interested in digital media design for learning, might find another student that is studying in another school within the university that is interested in the same thing, but they didn't even realize this because they were taking 2 different courses in 2 different schools.
So using this participants list, they can click and add this person as a contact or send this person a message. They could also take a look at her profile. And then from her profile, get a sense of other tags in the system and potentially other information attached to those tags. So you all were also interested in the kind of variety of information that could come up in the environment.
Yeah, that was a very important aspect for us. Not only did we want to be able to surface other students with similar interests very easily, but we wanted a student very simply to be able to go into the group, click on a tag or an interest, and also bring up content that has that tag. So it could be a paper for a course, it could be an image. The wonderful thing about this platform is that it could really be just about anything.
And this is stuff that people have put out in the environment so people can find it. So there's someone on the other end wanting someone to find this.
Yeah, absolutely. And really one of our hopes was that, beyond making this person a contact or messaging them, they could then actually create a subgroup. So a subset of Gallatin students that are all interested in digital media, for instance, could then create a subgroup in Atlas where they have streams of content and information that are surfaced for those students.
That's an excellent point. All users in the environment have the capacity to create their own groups and to create libraries and collections and amass them. So yeah, that's a great point. Now I know that we're getting ready to upgrade to the 1.1 version of OAE. And I know that right now we're just doing a small portion of Gallatin's plan. So you want to talk a little bit more about other features that you hope to see rolling in soon?
Yeah, so with the 1.1 upgrade, the first thing we intend to do is make much more robust use of tag clouds. This was something that was requested to us by several students, and it really makes a lot of sense. The same way we had a list of participants and very, very easily can see their names and their photos and really attach somebody's interest to a face, we wanted somebody very easily to go into a group and bring up a tag cloud so they can see graphically what are the interests of our students. And a tag cloud is really a perfect way to do that because it would show very quickly that, for instance, digital media is very large where medieval studies is small or vice versa. And that's something we're going to be doing right away. A little bit further in the future, we really want to connect these profiles and the academic social networking component to portfolios. The hope is that we can institute portfolios toward degree progress. And this way, students are putting in their content, their papers, and they're tagging them. And the same way other students were finding each other based on interests, there would be much more content for students to connect.
That's really exciting because what I'm hearing in this is that you are actually giving students the opportunity to practice skills that they're going to need when they go out into the professional world. Amassing a set of work that they've done, finding keywords to connect themselves with in environments like LinkedIn, and building out professional profiles so others can find them. So it sounds like you're giving them good technology mentoring.
Absolutely. I think, these are the kinds of tools that these students are going to be using. So much of professional networking does happen online, so they should be using these tools when they're at university.
So this sounds really exciting. I hope we can check back in with you later in the spring or over the summer and see what additional features you've been able to put in the environment. Thanks so much.
Thank you.